Our next speaker will be Roya. You will have to unmute yourself.
Yes, I already have done that. So
Super.
thank you very much for inviting me to present today. I'm profoundly honored and I appreciate that opportunity. I also would like to thank the European Parliament for enabling this important discussion, which has proven more than anything else of urgency, because we clearly need more input and more stakeholders in the European Union to get involved in this debate. And I think this is a very important first step in that direction, and I encourage the European Parliament to take further steps in that way and to do more to protect the interests of European citizens. I'm Austrian. I currently live in London, and it feels kind of like being the English patient in this movie during World War II. I have heard a lot today about what is good for business. I haven't heard a single word what is good for Europeans, for us, for the people. And I believe that in European policy formulation, we need to put the needs of people first. After all, this is what Europe is composed of. In that respect, I think it's very important to keep the needs of the consumer in mind rather than the needs of business only. And we need to achieve a balance not only between various types of businesses who have different business models, but there needs to be also an inherent social contract that is preserved between business and citizens in the form of consumers. I'm very concerned that this aspect has not been taken under consideration, which could lead to the harm of European citizens. In particular, I'm worried that under some considerations or approaches taken, which may be biased towards one side of the debate, access to technology may be hampered, and affordability of important technology, which we all enjoy, will be difficult for people. We won't have the money to buy it, and this is not okay. And I'm very disappointed to see that in all of these debates, associations which represent the needs of the people have been more or less absent, and that the voice of SMEs has also been inadequately reflected. I think it is very important to keep in mind that we formulate bottom-up policies rather than top-down policies. I have no doubt that the CEOs and mighty and powerful of this world have no problem of attending unpaid meetings and unpaid expert groups. It is not a possibility for SMEs. It is not a possibility for normal, ordinary citizens to do that. In that respect, I also think we need to make sure that in whatever we are doing in this debate, we are assuring the public interest, the intérêt public of various European nations, be they small or big in size. It is not that every single European country has corporations that own important stacks of standard essential patents. My own country, Austria, does not have any standard essential patents, and I am very concerned that we succeed as Europe to assure that the needs of small European countries are just as well reflected in European Union policy formulation as those of the big ones. We cannot afford that we have a Europe that functions at different speed levels. We need to assure a Europe where the small countries and the large countries, the countries that are home to SEP's standard essential patent owners, and those who are not, can see themselves in European Union policy formulation. And this, I think, are two very important goals in no matter what we are doing. And in all of this debate, I have not heard a single word about these issues. And I believe it is up to Parliament to bring these topics back to the debate. The third issue of this overarching framework, which we will need to think of how to keep it in mind, is that the way policy formulation functions assures gender balance, gives the same opportunities to men and women, to rich and poor, to young and old, to have their voices heard. this is one of a very fundamental principle of democracy and of democratic formulation. And we need to bring this principle back to the debate of standard essential patents. I must really repeat, it cannot be that this is only a debate which is driven by insiders, by companies who have become very rich, either because they're on one side of the debate or the other. We cannot have policy formulation driven just by the elites. This is for us, the people, and the people need to come first. With these three big issues, which I'm currently not seeing reflected in the debate, and which I once again repeat, this is the job of European Parliament, and I'm very happy and I'll be very honored to support the Parliament in these important efforts as Austrian, as European citizen, and as a woman.
Thank you very much, Roya.